Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 3rd of January and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The first is the digital Mahakumbh. Mahakumbh is a mega festival which is observed once in 12 years at a particular place. There are four places where this happens in India: Haridwar, Allahabad, Ujjain and Nasik. This year, that is 2025, Mahakumbh is going to be celebrated in Allahabad, and India's digital public infrastructure is going to be very much part of it. This will enhance surveillance and convenience for the public. This is the first Mahakumbh where India will be utilizing digital infrastructure, not completely but substantially, to aid the people as well as the security forces stationed over there. Then next is high religious restrictions in India. According to a Pew research, religious restrictions in India are very high. This is according to two indexes which has been released by them. Index number one is the state uh, social hostilities index one, and second is the government restrictions index. The social hostilities are very high where government restrictions are high, and India is one such country according to these indexes. Then next is, our former prime minister's mandated memorials. This question came into light after the tragic death of our former prime minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh. The opposition party Congress was claiming that BJP has denied a memorial to Dr. Singh. However, the ruling party announced a 7-day mourning and a state funeral, along with the announcement of a memorial to be constructed for him. This is going to be done after a trust is formed for this purpose. Well, all the former prime ministers except VP Singh have had memorials in their names. However, it is not mandated, it is not written in any constitution or any law that the former prime ministers should be having memorials. This is what we need to understand. Now we will be dealing with the MCQs, based on these three topics after this, and then, discussion to the answers of yesterday's MCQs. Now, digital Mahakumbh. This Mahakumbh is going to be in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. It will combine this modern technology and, spirituality. This is what, is it is going to happen. Uh, it has a world record of, the biggest human congregation in the world. It is the Mahakumbh. And the main objective of deploying digital technology in Mahakumbh is to make Mahakumbh safer, easier, and more convenient for everyone. Everyone means the people and the security forces stationed over there ensuring security. Now, some basic details about the Mahakumbh, which is going to be organized in Prayagraj, former Allahabad. The start date is January 13th, 2025. It is Posh Purnima Snan. End date is February 26, 2025. Mahashivratri it is. So it is going to go for 1 month and 13 days roughly. Triveni Sangam is the location at which this will be observed. So Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, confluence of Ganges, Yamuna and Saraswati rivers it is. However, Saraswati is not visible. Estimated devotees 40 to 45 pilgrims will travel to Allahabad for this Mahakumbh, and this is a very huge number. Purpose of the event is religious pilgrimage for attainment of salvation. This is a belief among the Hindus. Moksha, that is, through holy dips in sacred rivers during the Mahakumbh. And festival rotation held every 2 years at four sacred sites: Haridwar, Ganges on the basis of on the bank of river Ganga, Ujjain on the bank of river Shipra, Nashik on the bank of river Godavari, and Prayagraj on the banks of Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. So, this is what we need to see. And in every place, like in Haridwar, it is happening after 12 years. The last one was in 2013. Previous one was in 2001, like this. So, at a particular place, it comes after every 12 years. Now, the cyber security measures being undertaken in this particular Mahakumbh, this edition. So, cyber experts are there. A team of 56 specialists will monitor and protect the online environment to stop scams and fraud happening in this region. Then Mahakumbh Cyber Police Station, a special police station will be set up to deal with online fraud, fake websites and scams on social media. Awareness campaigns, 40 variable messaging displays, VMDs, will show warnings about online safety and how to avoid online tricks. Cyber helpline will be there, 1920, a helpline available 24/7 to help with cyber related issues like fraud or suspicious websites. Monitoring fake websites, cyber experts will keep an eye on social media platforms like Facebook, X, and Instagram to find and block fake websites. And they will be promoting safe websites. So, pilgrims will be encouraged to use only official government websites for safe online transactions as well as information gathering. Now, see, digitalization has been diffused in the society. People are using phones for almost everything, for looking at directions, for doing payments, for doing the bookings and all. So, it is very important the digital safety of the citizens. Now, apart from the digital safety, there will be these immersive digital experiences also, like 360-degree VR stalls. 10 virtual reality stalls will let people experience major events like the Peshwai, grand procession of the akhadas, holy bathing days, snan, Ganga Aarti and other rituals. Drone light show, a stunning evening light show with 2000 drones, will tell the stories of Prayag Mahatmayam and Samudra Manthan, churning of the ocean, showing the spiritual importance of this particular place, that is Prayagraj. This will also happen. Infrastructure and land digitalization. This is again a unique initiative. So, online land and facility booking, a website will help institutions book land and services online. Over 10,000 institutions will use this system. Drone surveys, drones will map the land before and after the monsoon to make planning easier. Online application process, people can track their land booking requests online, avoiding long queues. GIS based maps, Google Maps will show important places like police stations, hospitals, and emergency services, food courts, toilets, parking, and vending areas, roads, bridges, and other key facilities to help people get around. And getting around this particular city is not easy. You have to walk miles and miles and miles. Sharing my personal experience, but that was somewhere around 2001. I don't know what will happen now, but yes, digitalization is going to make things a bit easier. Next is enhanced security arrangements. Remote controlled life buoys will be there. So, life saving buoys will be sent to the river to help rescue people in trouble, especially during the holy bathing. Underwater drones. Drones will monitor the river 24/7 and send live updates to the control center to keep everyone safe. AI powered cameras will also be installed. Smart cameras will watch for unusual behavior and alert authorities to act quickly if needed. Drones and anti-drones technologies. Drones and technologies to stop them will be used for extra security and surveillance. So this is all going to happen. And again, digitalization is has a touch over here. Lost and found services. You might have heard that, saying, although it was, used a lot in comedy movies earlier, that Kumbh ke mele mein kho gaye the. Yes, people do get lost, especially children and all. So, you know, lost and found services have also been digitalized. So, digital registrations, lost pilgrims will be registered in a central system. Their details will be shared on social media and through public announcements. Police assistance, if a person is not found after 12 hours, police will help to make sure they are safe. Online stay booking platforms, pilgrims can book their stay through websites like IRCTC, Make My Trip, Go IBBO, or the official Mahakumbh app. The booking window is from Jan 10 to February 28, 2025. The tent city security, CCTV cameras and first aid services will ensure safety and comfort of pilgrims staying in the tent city as well. So yes, a lot of arrangements are being done. The state government is going to be responsible for conducting this mega event, I would say, ultra mega event, because it is the world's or it holds a world record for the biggest human congregation. And yes, you know, uh, digitalization is going to make things a bit easier. So let's see how it goes. Then next is high religious restrictions in India. Now, why is this there? Because a Pew Research Center report released recently said that India is among those 25 countries with highest levels of religious restrictions. Coincidentally, India is one such country which is having almost all the major religions of the world coexisting. But yes, restrictions are also there. So there are two indexes which are into picture. One is the social hostilities index, score of 9.3 out of 10, and its government restriction index, score of 6.4 out of 10, rank it among the countries with the most severe restrictions on religious freedoms globally. Social hostility index, SHI, it measures religion related hostilities such as harassment, mob violence, terrorism, militant activity, and conflicts over religious symbols, practices, or conversions. India's SHI, that is Social Hostilities Index, India scored 9.3 out of 10 in 2022 on the SHI, which is highest score among 198 nations. A score above 7.2 is considered very high, indicating that India experiences significant levels of religion related violence, harassment, and hostility. So, this is Social Hostility Index. 9.3 is way above 7.2, which is considered very high. So, social hostility is extremely very high. Global context with respect to SHI. So, India is not alone which has surpassed 7.2 score. There are 24 other countries also having high scores in SHI 2022. This includes countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, Syria, Egypt, Afghanistan, Israel, and France as well. Now, this is something which is shocking, but yes, France also has multiple religions coexisting. And India's high score, what does it highlight? It highlights religious violence, which is quite common, communal tensions, communal violence in our country, including attacks on religious minorities and conflicts over religious practices, attire, symbols, etc. etc. And these social hostilities often manifest in forms like mob lynching, terrorist attacks, religious riots, etc. etc. So, yes, this is Social Hostilities Index. Apart from India, there are 24 more countries whose score is more than 7.2. Then the second index is Government Restriction Index. So GRI evaluates the level of government imposed restrictions on religion, including laws, policies, and actions that restrict or regulate religious practices. Now, these kind of restrictions, what do they include? Banning or restricting certain religious practices, unequal treatment of religious groups by the state, bureaucratic rules that hinder religious groups' ability to operate freely. India's GRI, if I talk about, India scored 6.4 out of 10 on GRI in 2022, categorizing it as having high government restrictions on religious freedom. Then a score above 6.6 is considered very high, which means India's GRI score is significant, but not at the absolute highest level. So, this is what India's GRI was. Global context with respect to GRI. So in 2022, only 12%, means 25 countries had both high or very high scores on both GRI and SHI. This group includes countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, Syria, Egypt, Afghanistan, Israel, and Bangladesh. India is part of this group, unfortunately, signifying that the country not only faces significant social hostilities, but also has government imposed restrictions on religious freedom. Now, is there a connection between both of them? We will also see that. But yes, before that, let us see, you know, types of government restrictions. First is harassment by the governments. The harassment by government was one of the most common types of religious restrictions. This type of harassment was reported in 186 out of 198 countries, 94% of the nation studied. It involves both verbal and physical pressure on religious groups, with governments using legal, social, and political measures to restrict religious freedom. Interference in worship will be there. Government interference in worship was also widespread. In 170 countries, governments interfered in religious practices such as denying permission to worship, closing places of worship, disrupting religious rituals, or practice like burial and all. So, these kind of interference or these kind of restrictions are there. But yes, as I said that we also need to know the correlation between the government restriction index and social hostilities index. So the report found that the government restrictions and social hostilities are often closely linked. So wherever social hostilities will be there, government restrictions will be there to control those social hostilities. That is a common sense thinking. countries with higher government restrictions tend to have higher levels of social hostilities, and vice versa is also true. I mentioned about the vice versa, that wherever social hostilities will be there, government restrictions will be there. And vice versa is also true, wherever government restrictions will be there, social hostilities will be there. Because people will be feeling suppressed. They are not free. So they will vent out their anger, and that is what hostilities is. So this is the correlation. Countries with lower scores on these indices generally have fewer conflicts related to religion. So lower scores mean scores less than 7.2 and such like. But this correlation also needs to be understood. That is the main purpose of this particular slide. And considering both these indexes, that is government restriction index and social hostilities index, we need to figure out that you know uh, the religious freedom and all, how it is in a particular country. However, these are indices or indexes which are not based on door to door surveys. These are sample surveys. They can also be published to malign the image of any country. So that is also need to be understood by you guys. Now coming to our last topic, that is, are former prime ministers mandated memorials? If I have to answer this question in one word, the word is no. They are not mandated as per any law. They are not mandated as per the constitution. But yes, there has been a convention that all the former prime ministers, when they have died, they have had memorials in their names, except for VP Singh. There was a call for a memorial to be built for our honorable former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh by the opposition Congress party, to which the ruling party BJP responded, yes, we will be making a memorial in his name. And for that purpose, we need to form a trust, and the fund allocation and all should be done by that trust. However, in 2013, when the Congress government was there, they decided that no memorials will be made for the prime ministers because of the lack of space in Delhi. But now the demand is to make a memorial for the person of a stature of Dr. Manmohan Singh, to which the ruling party has graciously agreed. But yes, there was a lot of political controversy regarding this. Personally, I felt that, politics should not be here on the death of such a dignitary. Politics should not be played. This is not the place, or this is not the time of playing politics. This is what should be understood by both the ruling party and the opposition party. So, let's start with this particular topic and we'll get to know more about it. So, on December 26, 2024, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh passed away. Now, in line with the traditions, for state funerals, Union Ministry of Home Affairs announced 7 days of state mourning and a state funeral also for the former Prime Minister. The former Prime Minister was cremated at Nigam Bodh Ghat in central Delhi, marking the first time that a former PM had been cremated at this public cremation ground. And this sparked a controversy with the Congress party, accusing the government of an insult for not allocating a separate designated place for the funeral and demanding a memorial at the cremation site. So, this is what was basically the allegations by the Congress party. And, this is Nigam Bodh Ghat is a public funeral site, and where, members of the common public are also cremated. So, Mr. Manmohan Singh was also cremated there. And, they then started demanding that, a memorial should be there at the cremation site. Now, is there a rule regarding memorials? Now, while there are established guidelines for state funerals, no specific rule or government order exists regarding the allocation of space for memorials for prime ministers. No rules are there. It is not mentioned in any law. It is not mentioned in the constitution. According to constitutional expert PDT Achari, there is no set rule for memorials. He highlighted that the convention had been that former prime ministers were cremated at designated locations, but Manmohan Singh's cremation at Nigam Bodh Ghat marked a departure from this tradition. He was cremated at a public crematorium. Now, while India upholds the principle that all citizens are equal before the law, Achari pointed out that former PMs, especially someone like Manmohan Singh, who was respected both nationally and globally, deserved a special place for the last rites. So PDT Achari is all about, why Manmohan Singh was cremated at this public place, or that is public crematorium in the Nigam Bodh Ghat. But yes, you know, we don't know. Maybe the family members would have wanted it, or whatever the reason was. We don't know behind that. But yes, after cremation and all, building up a memorial is something which is in question after the death of Mr. Manmohan Singh, and the trend of memorials, if we see. So yes, there has been a memorial for every ex-prime minister except for Vishwanath Pratap Singh, VP Singh, and like for example, Jawaharlal Nehru's memorial is known as Shantivan. Lal Bahadur Shastri's memorial is called as Vijay Ghat. Charan Singh's memorial, Kisan Ghat. Indira Gandhi Shakti Sthal. Rajiv Gandhi Veer Bhumi. In 2015, a memorial for PV Narasimha Rao was also established at Ekta Sthal in Delhi 10 years after his death in 2004. In 2013, the Congress government decided that all future memorials would be built at Smriti Sthal due to a shortage of space in Delhi. So I said that no memorials will be built, but yes, it was wrong. This is the right thing, that Congress government decided that all future memorials will be built at Smriti Sthal due to shortage of space in Delhi. So let's see if Dr. Manmohan Singh's memorial will be built at Smriti Sthal or somewhere else. It will be in news in the times to come. Who maintains these memorials? This is also to be understood. The responsibility of maintenance of these memorials varies. According to 2012 reply by the Culture Ministry in Lok Sabha, local state governments and municipalities are primarily responsible for maintaining the memorials of various personalities. However, the central government, specifically the Ministry of Urban Development, oversees the upkeep of certain prominent memorials like Rajghat, Morarji Desai Samadhi at Abhayghat, Rajiv Gandhi Memorial at Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu. So, it varies, but largely from the local governments to the state government to Ministry of Urban Development, you know, all are responsible for different memorials. Now, the demand of Congress. What is the demand of Congress? On December 27, 2024, one day after the death, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of India requesting that Union government identify a designated place for funeral rites of Manmohan Singh and that a memorial be constructed at the site. Now, despite this request, the cremation took place at Nigam Bodh Ghat on December 28, which was a public cremation ground. Following the public outcry, Ministry of Home Affairs released a press statement on December 27 at 11:45 p.m. in the night, stating that the government has received the request for allocation of space for the memorial. After the cabinet meeting, Home Minister Amit Shah conveyed to Kharge and Singh's family that the government would allocate space for the memorial. Government also stated that a trust needed to be formed and only after that could space be allocated for the memorial. And as of December 30, 2024, the memorial for Manmohan Singh had not yet been announced. But yes, it will be announced shortly, which I believe. And, politics shall come to rest on the death of this, very respected dignitary. Now, comparison with Atal Bihari Vajpayee's memorial. Now, in contrast of the ongoing discussions about Manmohan Singh's memorial, the memorial of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who passed away on August 16, 2018, was quickly addressed. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was cremated at Smriti Sthal, which is also the place designated for memorials of other prominent leaders. This is what Congress said, that there has to be memorials at this place. A memorial for Vajpayee was constructed at Smriti Sthal within 45 days of his passing. Memorial cost 10.51 crore, which was fully funded by Atal Smriti Nyas Society, a trust set up for the purpose, and a trust will be set up for that purpose also, which is going to, build a memorial for Mr. Manmohan Singh. So, conclusion is that there is no mandate or a rule regarding memorials for former prime ministers, but yes, according to the convention, there should be memorials. Cremating Mr. Manmohan Singh at the Nigam Bodh Ghat, which is a public crematorium or cremation ground, was something which was out of league because no former prime ministers have been cremated on this public crematorium. Yes, you know, let's see what happens. Now considering the MCQs. So consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The first is the Mahakumbh is an event that happens once in 12 years. The purpose of this event is attainment of salvation through holy dips in the sacred rivers. Which of these statements are true? Second, consider the following pairs and mark how many of them are correct. Haridwar, Ganga, Nashik, Shipra, Ujjain, Godavari. How many of these pairs are correctly matched? Third, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Countries with higher government restrictions tend to have higher levels of social hostilities. Countries with lower scores on GRI and SHI indices generally have fewer conflicts related to the religion. GRI is government restriction index, SHI is social hostilities index. So, which of these statements are correct? Which of these pairs is not matched correctly? Jawaharlal Nehru, Shantivan, Rajiv Gandhi, Vijay Ghat, Indira Gandhi, Shakti Sthal, Charan Singh, Kisan Ghat. Now coming to yesterday's MCQs. Which of these countries have not developed the space docking technologies? So, space docking technology has been developed by USA, Russia and China. India will be the fourth. We will come to know by 7th of this month. France is the correct answer. So, all these are wrong and France is the correct answer for this question. France has not developed it. The space docking technology is essential for which of the following? Space stations. Yes, you need to take astronauts, bring them back. You need to dock those spacecrafts in which astronauts are going with the space stations. So, yes. Interplanetary missions. Yes, these are big missions and more fuel and all is also required. So, two satellites can separately go and they can dock in the space. Sample bring back mission, payload transfers and all very much required in these kind of missions. So, all of the above is going to be the correct answer for this particular question. Third, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The PM internship scheme aims at providing internship to 1 crore youth in private companies over the next 5 years. This statement is correct. PM internship scheme also aims to bridge the skill gap. Yes, skilling will be done of these people. So, yes, both these statements are correct. So, both 1 and 2 are going to be the correct option in this sense. Fourth, who of the following is not eligible for benefits under PM internship scheme? Any graduate is eligible. So, this is not going to be there. Any person whose family income is exceeding 8 lakh per annum for FY24, yes, is not eligible. This person is not eligible. Exceeding 8 lakh. The family income should be less than 8 lakh rupees and hence B is the correct option over here. How is norovirus spread from person to person? So, by eating contaminated food. Yes, if a person has norovirus and that person touches a food, then an uninfected person eats that or consumes that food, so then norovirus is transmitted. So, this is right. By coming in close contact with the infected person, yes, this is also right. So, both 1 and 2 are the correct options. And with this, we come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Not repeating it today. Namaste. Jai Hind.